What's up guys, Jacob Ober here. In this video we're going to be discussing whether or not the Green Bay Packers should trade for Antonio Brown. So in the past few weeks or so, if you haven't been keeping up with the headlines, Antonio Brown requested a trade from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Obviously there's a lot of dysfunction over in that organization right now. Things have kind of fallen apart for Pittsburgh, and Antonio Brown wants to get out of there. So there's been a lot of short lists that have been made up about places that Antonio Brown would likely end up. In Green Bay, I've noticed has been included on a lot of lists of places that Antonio Brown would likely land in a trade. So whether or not I think that the Packers should trade for Antonio Brown or not, I'd love to have Antonio Brown on my team, man. And, if the price is right, I am absolutely getting this guy, because Antonio Brown on the Green Bay Packers paired with Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones, those incredible offensive weapons, the great offensive mind, hopefully, of Matt LaFleur. There's the endless possibilities of what you could do with that kind of offensive talent on this Green Bay Packers team. But then there's the other side of me that's saying, Antonio Brown is kind of a diva. He is a pretty, he centers around himself. I don't really think he's a really great team player. And obviously all the drama that's unfolded, he's really handled it in a pretty ugly way. To put it, not saying he's wrong or right. I'm not agreeing or disagreeing with the way that he's, or with what he's saying. I'm just saying, like, the way that he's kind of handled the situation, it seems kind of egocentric, He seems like a bit of a diva, and I'm worried that that might affect, the chemistry, the locker room atmosphere of the Green Bay Packers, and that is a very, very overlooked thing in sports. The locker room, the kind of the vibe and the mood of the team, it can be negatively impacted by a person like that, and there are no shortage of players like that in the NFL. I feel like the Packers don't have a whole lot of those players on their team right now. I think a lot of them are very team-focused right now. So bringing in a guy like that would potentially affect the Packers, their chemistry, the relationships within the team. So that's something that I'm a little bit concerned about. But I think that the Packers, if the price is right, if they can trade, I would trade the 30th overall pick for Antonio Brown. I think that's about as high as I would go. I'd trade a combination of picks, maybe that 30th pick and a second rounder and maybe like a 5th rounder. I'd do that. But I wouldn't come close to touching the number 12 pick for him. And I would hesitate to give up one of our younger guys like Jair Alexander or Aaron Jones or something like that. I'd hesitate to do something like that either, because I really like what we have in a lot of our young players on this team. So my opinion is, if the price is right, go and do it, but I wouldn't put it as a priority for the Packers, because I do think that they have a really good nucleus of talent on the offense already, and I think that they can still achieve their goals even without having Antonio Brown on the team. This isn't like a must-trade, and back in the Khalil Mack thing, a lot of people might point to that saying, well, you had a chance to get Khalil Mack, why didn't you do it there? This is the same situation all over again. I don't think it's the same situation all over again, because I feel like Khalil Mack is a generational kind of talent, and the Packers were sorely lacking in that department heading into the season, the pass rush department. So this is a bit of a different situation here. The Packers have a lot of young talent on offense that they can build around, and of course Antonio Brown I don't think is as sure of a thing as Khalil Mack was, because that's a game-changing defensive player right there, and obviously Antonio Brown is the same on offense. I just don't think it's nearly to the same degree, I think, like I said, if it's for the right price, the Packers should do it. But if you try to get crazy with things, I'm not giving up any of my core nucleus players. I'm not giving up the number 12 pick. I'm not giving up a combination of the 12 and the 30th pick, obviously. So I would be willing to give up the number 1 or the first round 30th overall pick. But other than that, I don't think I'd stem too far from just that pick. Combination of later round picks might end up getting it done, but like I said, nothing that is I would deem essential to the team going forward. I wouldn't give up anything like that. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, though. I'd love to hear what you guys think about the Antonio Brown situation. Do you think the Packers should trade for Antonio Brown? If so, Who should we give up? What picks should we give up? Leave your comment in the comment section below. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Go Pack, go.